Hello, and welcome back to the driveway. I'm Dr. Wigo, and today I'm going to tell you the 5 things I love and the 5 things I hate about my new car. And it's not that new. It's been 2 months since I bought this car. I know it seems like only yesterday. So let's get into it. The first thing I love about this car, and I love it a lot, is the mileage. I routinely see mileages over 50 miles per gallon, like running around town. And on highway trips, it's been high 40s. And yes, I've done a highway trip. But the thing about the hybrid system is that it's seamless. If I didn't have a tachometer, I wouldn't know when the engine is on and off because I can't hear it. The engine is so quiet and it coming on and off, it makes no noise. The car doesn't vibrate. There's nothing. The only way I can tell is by looking at the tachometer, and when I see it go from 0 to like 1.8, then the engine came on. And the mileage has just been impeccable. Very, very happy with that. The next thing I love is still, I said it in the original review, which I will link to up here, but it's the styling. I just think this is a good looking car. I mean, for a lozenge-shaped sedan, which they all are, I just kind of think this one looks better than the other ones. Maybe that's because I bought this one. But for whatever reason, I really like the styling. I think it's a good looking car. The third thing that I love and that I didn't know I was going to love is wireless CarPlay. I'd never had wireless CarPlay. I'd only had wired in the Challenger and in the Kia and in the Veloster, and in all my cars have had CarPlay. It's all been wired CarPlay. This is my first wireless, and it is just a joy. And it's integrated into the systems, which is another thing I'm going to love about this car in just a minute. And the navigation stuff from CarPlay shows up in the heads-up display, so you don't lose that. So it's perfect. It's fantastic. The next thing is something I talked about with the Kia, and I talked about in the original review of this car, and that is brake hold. I first had this in my Mercedes like 10 years ago. But when you hit the brake and you take your foot off, the car doesn't go. It holds the brake. In this car, it remembers from time to time. So the next time you start the car, if it was on the last time it was on, it's on again. Whereas in the Kia, it would go off, and every time you started the car, you had to press it. This is way better. Now, this brings me to the fifth thing I love, which is actually a half a dozen things, but they're all together. It's the highway driving assistance, all the features that help make the car so easy to handle, the adaptive cruise control, the distance you can set. And I showed this all in a video about the Kia, and it's the same system because it's the Hyundai and Kia are the same electronics. It's a fantastic system. The one downside of this system, though, is when you're on a road like we have around here in the Memphis area, where they're kind of bumpy and the car is trying to stay in the center of the lane, and so the wheel turns inside in your hands. And it does it a lot when the road is not that level. So it's a little disconcerting to have the steering wheel moving in your hand as it's staying in the center of the lane. And I mean, it was like on TV when you would watch people, drive like this. Well, it kind of does that on its own. I still love the systems. I love the lane warnings and the heads-up display. Heads-up display, if you're on a road that has a curve, it'll put up one of those little, yellow curve signs. Or if there's a stop sign ahead, it'll throw up a little stop sign. So it just warns you of everything that's coming. And it has the lane markers, and it tells you if there's a car in your blind spots, and it tells you that on the mirrors, it tells you that in the heads-up display, it tells you that in the instrument panel. It's really hard to wreck this car. Not that it's impossible, but it's very safe. Now for the things I hate. And one, if you watched my original video, I can't tell what song is playing on the Sirius XM. No. The wireless CarPlay that I love turns out to be a real boon because I can see what song is playing on CarPlay. I cannot see the song that's playing on Sirius XM unless I press the little thing and make it take over the screen. I showed you that in that video. Incredibly annoying. Oh, closing the door. When you're sitting in here, you have to reach way out to grab the door to pull it closed. Now, on the Kia, it had a little bump that you could reach, so you didn't have to reach quite so far. I hate closing this door. A couple of other things I mentioned that I hated when I first got the car was the lack of the auto fold-in mirrors. These mirrors do not fold in. Well, they do manually. And I mentioned this in the original video. No Homelink. It doesn't have a Homelink mirror. In fact, in this particular model, you can't even get a Homelink mirror. So I have to have my garage door opener on my visor, which kind of takes away from the whole luxurious feel otherwise of the car. The last thing that I hate about this car is the lumbar support. It's two-way. It'll push out or pull back in. No up and down. Well, where it is not in a good place for my lumbar support, so it really does me no good whatsoever. And if you watch the channel, you know I have a bad back. And I did a little short trip up to Sikeston, Missouri to go to Lambert's, the home of the Throwed Rolls. If you've never been to Lambert's Cafe in Sikeston, Missouri, they have them elsewhere too, down by the beach in Orange Beach, and go to Lambert's. Anyway, I went up to Lambert's. It's a 2.5 hour drive. Well, after 2.5 hours, my back hurt. And then 2.5 hours back, my back hurt when I got home because the lumbar support is basically non-existent. I mean, if your spine lines up exactly with where this thing comes out, you'll be fine. Mine does not. It's too low for me. I need it to be up a few inches, and yet it's this way only, no up and down. But after 2 months and almost 1,000 miles, I'm pretty happy with this car. The mileage has been phenomenal. I put gas in once. It'll do 500, 600 miles per tank. It's a great car. The heads-up display, now I remember why I loved them so much. I didn't have it in the Kia. I haven't had it for a while, but it's the best. You don't ever have to look down. You just look straight ahead and all the information you need is right there. I'm still going to do a full review after I've driven some more, maybe another 1,000 miles. But just after 2 months, I got to tell you, those 5 things I love, I really love. And the 5 things I hate, I really hate. And of course, like 3 of them I already knew I hated when I bought the car. But it still doesn't make them less annoying. That's it for today. Thanks for stopping by. See you next time. Bye-bye. I'm going to go think about more things I love and hate about this car for the big review that's coming down the road. Thanks for staying to the end. Bye-bye.